Coming up on Vegas Nation Blitz, picking up the pieces after a loss on the home opener on prime time. The Raiders losing 20-9 with Geno Smith throwing 3 interceptions on the night.
We had a lot of explosives in week one, and obviously we wanted to carry that over. I always speak about us being explosive, but being efficient is the number one thing. And so I thought the efficiency wasn't there, and that would have led to some more explosives if we were more efficient. So take what they give me. I mean, it's that simple.
The Raiders addressing some issues early on in the season.
A loss is a loss. You can't get too high or too low. We got to learn from it and respond, and that's what we're going to do.
With a tough test on the horizon and the Commanders on the road, a new, shorter week begins. Vegas Nation Blitz starts right now.
Powered by the Las Vegas Review-Journal, this is Vegas Nation Blitz. Presented by D&R House of Diamonds, making luxury affordable. Located in the One Summerlin building in downtown Summerlin.
We won't just drop this game. There's too much to learn. We're such a new team that there's so many things to learn. We had our ups, and that's what's frustrating about it. We needed to not, fumble a snap in the red zone. We need not get 2 holding penalties in the red zone, and we have a lot of confidence in our team, but it's when you make it that hard, you're likely going to be behind it, and so that's kind of what happened.
That was Raiders head coach Pete Carroll speaking to the media on Tuesday about his frustrations that he had in the 20-9 loss against the Chargers on Monday night. Hello and welcome into Vegas Nation Blitz, the Week 3 edition. I'm your host, Dominic Lavoie. So the Raiders now sit at 1-1 on the season following that loss in Week 2. We're going to get things started in this show with Raiders beat writer Vinny Bonsignore and his top stories.
Appreciate it, Dom. Well, I'll tell you what, the easy way to go would be Geno Smith coming off the 3 interceptions. How is he going to rebound? But I'm not going to go there because I actually think Geno's going to be fine. He usually rebounds from poor performances pretty quickly. I'm going to go to the offensive line and Ashton Jeanty. The Raiders just haven't been able to get it going on the ground. It's supposed to be a staple of this offense. It's supposed to be what they're built on in their foundation. It's supposed to be the thing that sets everything else up. So Ashton Jeanty needs to get going. The offensive line needs to get going, and I think it's 50-50 on where the issues are. The offensive line should get Jackson Powers-Johnson back coming off the concussion. They need to get push. They need to get Ashton in a rhythm. That's the coaches calling his number. It's been far and few between when Ashton Jeanty's got the ball on back-to-back carries. And I felt like some opportunities were lost on Monday after big gains, a 13-yard gain and a 9-yard gain, not going right back to him. So I think that's something that the Raiders are going to look at on film and say, hey, why are we just not handing it off to number 2 after a positive play? It helps him. It helps the operation. And you know who else it helps? It helps the offensive line. You want them to be in attack mode. You want them to be physical. You want them to be winning the line of scrimmage. Get them going, moving forward, rather than always dropping back in pass protection. 43 times, that's way too many, which is what they did on Monday night. Get them moving forward. Get them aggressive. Get them physical. And you do that by sticking with the run, not just once or periodically or one time here and then wait a couple plays to go back to him a little bit later on. Go to him successive times, especially when there's some momentum being built. So that's what I'm going to keep my eye on this week. Back to you, Dom.
Now to Geno Smith, the Raiders quarterback struggling majorly against the Chargers. Smith completing 24 of his 43 passes on the night for just 180 yards and 3 interceptions with no touchdowns whatsoever. Smith was also sacked 3 times for a loss of 30 yards and had a passer rating of just 37 on the night. The Raiders quarterback speaking to the media Wednesday after a couple days to assess his performance.
It was tough to watch, honestly. A lot of things that I wish, we'd have done better. I would have done better personally. But like I said, man, you can never just flush that. You got to learn from it, and that's what I did, man. I watched it, man, over 10 times and just tried to figure out, what did I need to do to be better, which was a lot of things that were obvious. So being more accurate, taking what they give me, not being so aggressive. And then, we had chances at the end of the game, which I usually do well at, and we didn't get it done. So a lot to learn from and a lot that we will get better from.
And to Brock Bowers, the Raiders' standout second-year tight end, was nursing a left knee injury the whole week leading up to Monday Night Football, one that he suffered in Week 1 against New England. He was held out of practice a handful of times leading up to the Chargers game and ended up playing Monday night with a knee brace on. Now, Bowers had 5 grabs for 38 yards in the loss, seeing more targets in the second half.
We were concerned about him. We practiced one day during the week, and he seemed okay and all that. But you saw us go to him more in the second half because he survived the first half and made it through it.
And finally, some buzz around Tom Brady, the Raiders minority owner, first announcing the Fanatics Flag Football Classic ahead of the Raiders Monday night game. The game will be in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, March 21st, 2026, with 3 teams coached by Pete Carroll, Kyle Shanahan, and Sean Payton, with players featuring Brady himself, Rob Gronkowski, Max Crosby, and other current NFL stars. The 2028 Olympic flag football rules will apply. And Brady stuck around Allegiant Stadium Monday, being seen in the coach's booth wearing the headset with offensive coordinator Chip Kelly. Now, ESPN reported that Brady meets with the Raiders multiple times a week to go through film, but Pete Carroll shut that report down vehemently post-game on Monday and expanded on the 7-time Super Bowl champions' involvement on Tuesday.
I think Tom's really tried to honor that really strictly and with all respect, to the situation of, concerns like you're talking about, and I think he's been really good. He is not planning games with us. He's not talking to us about anything other than our conversations that we have that are they're random. I mean, they're not set up. They're not structured in any way. And when he knows, he's very respectful of what he does otherwise, and he's of the opinion that he doesn't want to be that kind of a factor, and so he's not.
Now, with all that out of the way, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we return for One Thing with Fang, plus some fast takes with Adam Hill following week 2. Stay with us.
DNR House of Diamonds is Las Vegas's elite private office jeweler. We specialize in natural and lab-grown loose diamonds, engagement rings, and custom design. If you're looking for lab-grown diamonds, we have one of the largest selections at the best prices in Las Vegas. We make luxury affordable every day.
Welcome back in for Vegas Nation Blitz. We're going to get things rolling right away with One Thing with Fang for the 3rd time this season.
Thanks, Dom. I'm Heidi Fang, and it's time to take a quick look at what's going on with Commanders quarterback Jayden Daniels. The second-year quarterback can do it all, but that may just be his downfall. After taking a lot of hits against the Packers in Week 2, head coach Dan Quinn states that Daniels is day-to-day with a knee sprain, which means a handful of current Raiders players may see a familiar face suiting up in Washington. That's if Daniels can't go. Marcus Mariota would be under center. A 10-year veteran of the game, Mariota spent 2 seasons with the Silver and Black before bouncing to Atlanta, Philadelphia, and then Washington. Questions remain about how efficient the former first-round pick can be and if he can move the Washington offense. He's played in 3 games for the Commanders, throwing 364 yards and 4 touchdowns, but he hasn't started a game for the franchise. How will the Raiders defense prepare if Daniels doesn't get the start? We'll know more once it gets closer to game day, but that's one thing on my mind. Back to you, Dom.
And finally, we get some fast takes from Adam Hill.
Hey, it's Adam Hill. Time for your fast takes. And look, I understand the world we're living in. You're supposed to overreact and freak out about everything. Everything is the greatest or the worst of all time. But I have a little news for you. The Raiders aren't as good as they were in Week 1. They played a really good game against the Patriots, and let's face it, the Patriots didn't play their best that day. The Raiders were able to take advantage of it. And guess what? They're not as bad as they were Monday night against the Chargers either. That was a horrific performance all around. The offensive line struggled. Geno Smith had maybe his worst game ever. He's going to be better than that. It's going to be somewhere in between. The key for the Raiders is finding some consistency, finding their level, playing solid football, no highs, no lows. I mean, every once in a while you want a high for sure, but you want to be able to maintain a level all season long. They've got to figure out that level. They've got to find that level and play to it consistently. Until they do that, it's not going to be a good, successful team. They've got to figure out that balance and that consistency. It starts with the offensive line for sure. That's got to get better. They've got to be able to run the ball. That's why they drafted Ashton Genty. But the defense is playing okay. Geno Smith, we know, is going to be better than he was on Monday. This is a team that is capable of doing some good things this year. So don't freak out about that loss on Monday, just like you shouldn't have freaked out about the win too much in Week 1. Find a level, find some consistency. That's where the Raiders will have success.
All right, that'll do it for Week 3 of Vegas Nation Blitz. Thank you all for tuning in once again. Make sure to return Saturday morning for Vegas Nation Game Day to gear up for the Commanders game. And for more coverage during the week on the Raiders, make sure to visit VegasNation.com or Vegas Nation on social media, as well as tuning into the Vegas Nation First and 10 podcast on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast fix to hold you over until then. But once again, thank you all, and I'll see you on Saturday.
Powered by the Las Vegas Review-Journal, this is Vegas Nation Blitz. Presented by DNR House of Diamonds, making luxury affordable. Located in the One Summerlin building in downtown Summerlin.